You are live. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on take two on Spirit Quest this Thursday night. There's no excuse. I have no idea why this has gone on. I've checked all the signals. StreamYard seemed to be working fine. So I've come out of StreamYard, which is the service that creates it so it can go out to YouTube and go out to Facebook and places like that. So I had to go out basically and come back in again and kind of revamp everything. So it's basically take two. So I'm hoping that you guys will pick up on that, and I'll just sort of yap on for a minute or two while it's telling me that that there are a couple of people watching, which is good at the very least. So come and join me tonight. I hope you're well. Water. It gets a bit dry when you're starting to get nervous at everything. I so can't wait to get back into my studio where I know this all works. So it's telling me that I have four people watching, so that's good. Um, that tells me that you guys uh, are already here and happy and blah blah blah. So okay, I want to scroll that across the bottom. Okay. Right, let's see if it's going to uh, get you guys to be able to help. Okay, so scroll, save, there we go. There we are. Then that's how you do it. Comments. Maria, guess you couldn't see me. Maria's just joined in. Yes, we have side love. Thank you very much. Yay! Says Julie Sharp. Can hear you now, Paul. Hope you are all set in your new home. We're in this beautiful 18th century amazing cottage. 3.5 foot thick walls, so it's really old school, and it reminds me of my house in Ireland. The That's the positive side. Is so beautiful. So you saw the video last night. So the front door of the property has what's called a stable door, so you can open the whole door or you can open half the door. So I stood at the door and took some video footage of outside last night. It was amazing, and it's raining here tonight. So the sound of the rain hitting, we've got Velux windows in the roof, so the sound of the rain is just beautiful. And then to top it all off, to make it really beautiful, I lit a fire tonight. So downstairs in the living room, there's a fire burning away in the corner, and it's just wow. It's just beautiful. So Carol Amiro has joined us. Hi, Carol. Lovely to see you. Lisa says, "I'm back, Lisa." And Maria's going, okay, so you can see me now. I'm not moving. Right, yes, I could see you, Maria. And thanks for being here, of course. Sharon Watts says, hi, Paul. I hope you and your family are keeping well. Sharon, we're doing well. Thank you for asking. Really appreciate that. And welcome everybody to Spirit Quest. Now, if you are watching me on Facebook, like a Maria and Sharon, please out, come out of Facebook, go into YouTube, and make sure that you go into YouTube. So you come out and you go and click in whatever you're using, be it a cell phone, a tablet, a computer, whatever. And in the search bar at the top of YouTube, just type in Paul Francis Medium. And what will happen then is it'll bring you right back to this show. When you basically when you come back to the show, click on subscribe, and then the little bell icon, a notification bell, and it'll tell you every time we're doing a show. So do that. Vanessa says, I also moved this week. Did you move this week too? Is it is it me, or is it damn stressful? It's a stressful thing, because when you move, then you can't find anything, can you? You know, well, where's all my t-shirts? Oh, they're in such and such a case or box. Where's that? Oh, I don't know. It's over there somewhere. And then a whole pile of our of our family goods is now in storage in the big company that moved us. So it's like my entire studio, which is incredibly expensive, is in boxes in the studio, and I can't get that back until the end of October and hopefully the first week in November. So we're talking about that time, and then I'm into the new studio. But this time I'm not going to break my neck because as much as I really, really want to be, I don't like to miss weeks. This whole system here, the way it's working and it's coming off this camera, is so difficult. It's so difficult to make it work in such a way that it's proactive and reactive. So when we move house, I'm going to set the studio up. I'll probably do filming. I'll probably film the studio being put together, and so you guys can see what's happening. I'll be doing like stuff like that, and I'll probably have somebody in to do the wiring and all that kind of malarkey. But on the first week, if it's not already set up, I'm just going to take a week off and get the studio set up, because it's better to come back zoom in. It's better to come back boom and doing it properly than to come back in bits and pieces and making it look so amateur. So when we come back at the end of this month, it'll be in the studio, which will be all singing, all dancing, and we're back. Move house again. Yes, I've got one more move to go. Our house that this house that we're in right here isn't our house. We're just staying here while our house is getting ready. But this house here's Johanna doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. I do. It reminds me so much of my house in Ireland that it feels very Celtic in its design, and I love it. Johanna doesn't like it, but that's okay. Hey, if she doesn't like it, she doesn't like it. That's the way it is. But when we moved to our home which is weirdly enough, as the crow flies, about 11 miles from here, 12 miles, something like that. It's stunning. It's beautiful. Singing and dancing live, Lisa. Yes. Herbert Lopez, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So all y'all, it's Spirit Quest. So that means it's all about you, not about me. It's all about what you want to know, how you want to learn a bit more about what we do as psychic mediums, as what we do as mediums, as spiritualists, paranormal investigators, or any kind of combination of stuff like that. Also, I gave you a little bit of homework. If you remember, I told you to write down 5 ideas that you hold really important and put them in order. Okay, so I wonder how many of you actually did that. Why couldn't you just stay at your old place until the house was ready? I don't understand the pit stops. Well, Maria, the old place was sold. Okay, and the sale of the new place took longer than we expected, and then the house was sold, so we no longer owned it, so we had to move out. And the person that bought it in good faith. So you can't just turn around and go, "Oh, you got to wait till we move in to the new house." And no, we had an opportunity to move to. We wanted out of where we were anyway, and we moved to over here, and we're happy. So, Sue Vinicum, welcome to the show. Becky Rose says, "My house is awful. Why is it awful? Why is it awful?" Christopher James, good evening. I'm not Roger, by the way. Christopher, just so you know, I'm Paul. But welcome to the show anyway. It's a shared house. Then make the part that you own yours. Make it yours. I forgot to write the 5 things. Blue wide eyes. Blue wide. Oh, I say blue wide eyes. That's obviously emoji, and because on this here it writes out what it is. Blue wide eyes. So it's actually I forgot to do it. Kind of crazy. Here they try to make deals close at home time at the same time. I don't care. I have absolutely no cares. We didn't like the house we were in. Um, we didn't want to be there, and as soon as the opportunity to come out of it came up, we took it. So that's the high and low of it. And it doesn't matter if I've got to make one move or 22 moves, as long as I'm happy and as long as Johanna's and the kids are happy. That's more important. Okay, so if I've got to make two more moves, three more moves, five more moves, don't care. Um, so when we do the shift, now the good thing about it is the first move was it took 2 days to move, but the second move was just a hop, so that was easy. It was only just like basic a basic move, like you're going on vacation. Is basically like that. So the final move, which is the end of the month, will be a big move again. So that will take 2 days to happen. But we have professional companies who they get all the kit, they bring it, and they bring it into the rooms for you, and they do all that kind of stuff. So what I've sort of realized is when you get stressed out, and it's dead easy to get stressed. Um, is the stress is not going to change it. You still have to move whether or not you're stressed. So why get angry and stressed and out of your mind? Because you still have to do the move. So just enjoy the move. Just enjoy the excitement of going to a brand new place, going to a brand new another chapter in your book. Do it that way. Oops, please forgive me. I meant to Paul. Sure, I hope so, Christopher. I do hope so. Though I don't even look like Roger. Yeah, you're doing the right. I don't even sound like Roger. So I even want to try. Um, so long as you're happy, family always first, says Jules Sharp, and she's absolutely spot on correct. Christopher, can I invite you to come out of Facebook? Come out of Facebook. Facebook is totally unreliable. It's an unreliable platform. It's no longer run by people. It's run by AI. Total crap. Be honest with you. Can I invite you to come out of Facebook, Christopher? Go into YouTube. Now, when you go into YouTube, at the top, there's a little sort of search bar at the top. Type in Paul Francis Medium, and that will bring you straight back to the show. Now, when you come right back to the show, subscribe to the show, and then click the little notification bell, and that will tell you every time we're doing shows, even shows I haven't advertised. So if I set up a show that I'm going to do like an off the cuff show, or I call them a heads up or one offs, it will say, "Hey, Chris, Paul's about to do a show," and it'll let you know, all free of charge. So come, everybody, get across into YouTube and make sure that you watch the show from there. Now, if you are watching from YouTube, bang that um, like button. All right, make sure you connect that like button, and don't forget to share the show. That's really important. So Roger and I do our shows every week, and we do them for you guys. So what we ask in return from you guys is a little bit of help. Now I need to build the numbers in YouTube. Two reasons. I want to keep the show on YouTube, and the second reason being is YouTube will only keep those shows of people who are constant, and so we need to constantly build in YouTube. So move across to YouTube, subscribe because it's all free of charge. It's a better platform. It's far more stable than Facebook, and you won't have people trying to hack into you on YouTube as they do on Facebook. And then it's easier to share as well. So if you do that, Puffins has joined us. Puffins, good evening. Good to see you. YouTube was showing that you were offline. Yeah, that's because I had to come out, Chris. I had to come off the show. For some reason, the audio wasn't working. So I come out of the show, then back into it again. Everything's working now. So I should be actually live on YouTube now. Wacky Jackie's in the house. Jackie, good evening. Good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. How's London tonight? I hope it's fine and dandy. Down here, it's all soaking wet. Now, I understand that they're expecting snow at the other end of the UK. soon, over this coming week. So we're starting to head towards the winter. But look, not that climate change is. No, I'm not saying for one second that climate change isn't real. It has to be real, even if you forget all the experts, forget all the scientists, forget all the idiots who are pro and negative to it, and just think about it. Human beings have become so industrious. There's, the average family now have two cars. The average family, whereas it was, back when I was a kid, you know, most, some people didn't even have cars, and then the average family would have a car. But now the average family is two, going up to five cars, because if you've got teenage children, they'll have their own car, and so on and so forth. So the more that you add into that mix or throughout the globe, the more it's pumping emissions into the globe, into the air, causing the greenhouse effect, global warming. What they don't tend to tell you is the biggest contribution to global warming is on the ocean. Those big ships are pumping out the equivalent of a city of emissions as they cross over the oceans. And they don't seem to go to those. There is a way around it: nuclear. Fit each ship out with nuclear fusion, and the ships won't give off any. It'll be zero emissions. Dead easy. All good and a bit damp, says Jax. Chris has made it across. Yay, Chris! Good on you, pal. So anyway, I gave everybody a little bit of a homework challenge to do. I wanted you all to write out just five items, five ideas that you want to achieve, and then put those ideas into significant order. One being the most important, five being you want to do it, but it's not as important as the previous four, so on and so forth. So I just wondered, because the only person that seems to have managed to do it is Lynn. Sharon is not good. Sharon and Chris both over on YouTube. Good on you guys. So don't forget to, first of all, like the show. Really important. That's vitally important, because YouTube looks for people who like the show. They look for how long you watch the show for, and they look for how many people have subscribed. And then they decide whether or not you're going to be able to keep your channel on YouTube. So help me out, guys. I just listed six. Do you know what, Lisa? If you want to list six, if you want to list 10, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I said five because five is a number that most people go, oh, yeah, I can do that. If I'd have said to you, okay, I want your top 10 or top 20, people go, and they don't tend to focus on it. So if you say five, you go, oh, I can do five. And then, like Lisa just did, so you do five and you think, well, I want to do that as well. And then just keep going. It's all right. Emily Robinson, good evening. Good to see you. Paul, on the last live, you said about intervention from other planets. And then we spoke about war. A few days after that war broke out in Israel, yeah, I must have been given a what I refer to as a heads up about that. Um, the thing about it is that there's going to be more than one. This is the thing about it, and I don't think that Israel is going to be. You got Israel and Russia. I don't think that. I think there's going to be another one somewhere, and I really am drawn right down to like South Africa area, so down there somewhere. Um, it may not be, South Africa going to war, but it could be them going to war on the pirates, the Somalian pirates, or what. I don't know, but there's something else that's drawn my attention. But my biggest, and something that I want to happen really, really fast, is the the visitors from other planets. Oh, nearly pulled that right out of the phone, or right out of my ear, my phone. The visitors, the sooner that we understand that we have visitors from other planets, as soon as the world understands that we are being visited, and they're not really just coming and going, they're here and they're staying here. And as soon as we get that, the world will drop its stupidity. It's idiotic. I mean, you look at the war in Israel over what? What? Dirt, land. Here's the thing: you're not on this earth long enough to worry about it. You know, really, seriously. I mean, if it was a war of over oppression, you could probably see, you know, people have had enough of being oppressed and being subdued and being treated like slaves. I can probably get behind that, but over dirt, I just don't get it. I just don't get that at all. Um, so what was that list says, Sue? Well, I just said to put together a list, five ideas that you really, really want to achieve, and then put them in list of importance. Don't worry about do it anyway. Everybody do it. So do it for the next show. All right. So we'll just talk about. I'll do Q&A with you guys tonight. Don't worry, not a biggie. So over the next sort of few days until next Monday, put together a list. Put together five or more ideas. Alrighty, and with those ideas, I want you to put them in order of really, really it's important to you. So these are five ideas that you want to achieve, and you really, really want to achieve them. Put them in order, and the number one being the most important to you, and then obviously coming down of lesser importance. So it feels like things are really stirring up in the world, doesn't it? It does, Sue. It needs. The thing about it is, the idiots that create these wars are so-called leaders. If these so-called leaders decide that they're going to have a war, then the blood of the people who die is on their hands. Idiots. Jose, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And I do hope. I jumped on to Roger and Faye's Latino Psychic Visions last night. I had a little bit of time to myself, and I was just sitting there, and I thought, "Oh, Roger's show's going to be on," and then it just went boom. So I quickly took some time to get on there. As the show went on, I became more and more tired. I had been the night before. I'd been up till 3:40 a.m. and then up at 7 a.m. And then last night, I got to the point where I was on Roger's show and I was getting really, really tired. And I had to get up again to 7 this morning. So I thought, you know what, guys, I'll stay on here for a while. And then I really, really have to sign off because I am so tired. I signed off and off I went. So, um, please, folks, we only have a number of likes. I've only got 3 likes. There are 20 people watching the show and only 3 likes. Come on, guys, hit that like button, hit that like button. Let's do it. And things are bad everywhere. Things are bad. Yeah. So that makes it even more important that you should really make the best out of the life you have now. Alrighty, you have plenty of ability around you to put things into place so that your life is of good order, and making sure your family looked after and you looked after. And then while you're doing that, hopefully others will take stock and go, well, I want to do that too, and they'll start doing it, basically following in your example. So come on, guys. What questions do you have for me tonight on Spirit Quest, the journey of life? What do you want to know? Tell me. And if I can't answer them, I will answer them. If I can't answer them, I'll tell you. I have no idea. There we go. Water, by the way, water. So man wanting, what's that? Sorry, Maria. So man wanting to check out of the life they have. I don't understand what that means, Maria. So man wanting to check out of the life they have. Sorry, my darling. Maybe you've maybe miswritten that. But I don't understand what you're saying. Julie says liked and shared. Thank you so much, Jules. Appreciate that. Lisa says I liked it when I logged on. Can you do it again, Lisa, just to make sure? Because when I logged off myself and then re-logged in, it might have, wiped it all. So just try it again. Stupid phone. I kind of thought that that's probably the case. Oh, the amount of times that I have typed out something on my phone and then looked at it and then you think, I didn't write that. And the phone's got predictive text. Me personally, I tend to turn predictive text off. So many wanting to get out of the lives they have. Um, but that's not a bad thing. People have if they're having a tough life and things aren't going their way, then really it's a good idea to be able to get up and say, do you know what? No, I'm not accepting this. I'm going to make my life better and go out there and do it, make things happen. How do you think government would react to a visit from other planets? Well, the thing about it is, my darling Sue, is that we're getting visits from other planets. It's not if, it's happening. And governments are in fact, governments have met with beings from other planets. So it's already happening. What I think is the governments should not be allowed. The governments have forgot the principle of government. That's my opinion. They've forgotten the principle of government, and the principle of government is of the people, for the people, by the people, of the people, for the people, by the people. So they're not acting in the world's best interests by making it in secrets and rubbish like that. It's well documented that alien beings are not only visiting but living on this planet, and multiples and multiples of craft coming and going on a daily basis. Daily basis. Now the thing about it is, as technology moves forward, I've got spirit around me, I've got itchy nose. As technology moves forward, look at this here, right? I'm sitting in a little 18th century cottage in the depths of Cornwall, UK, and I'm talking to all you guys all over the globe, already, all over the world. So you guys are listening to me in different parts of the United States, UK, Ireland, Europe, and all different parts of the world. Um, and you're listening to me pretty much immediately, okay, with milliseconds in between what I'm saying and you receiving. Now, if you go right back to the 1980s, it took months to set this up. So a live performance, let's talk about, like, for example, Live Aid. Okay, it took months to set that up, yet we're doing it now daily. So as technology is moving that fast, okay, they can't hide, because the technology in each cell phone, for an example. So we got Maria, she's using a cell phone tonight. I don't know how many of you guys are using cell phones tonight, but there's more power, processing power in your cell phone than there was in 1969 with the computers that sent men to the moon. There's more power, processing power in your cell phone than there is in the computers that sent men to the moon. Think about that. So while we have 4G and 5G cameras and even 8K cameras now, um, we're going to catch objects. We're going to be able to film objects. Technology that was only militarial is now available to everybody. Okay, like infrared camera systems. Um, Not only just infrared camera systems, but intelligent infrared camera systems, and systems that heat-seeking cameras, all available to everybody and anybody who wants them. All that kind of technology is available. For God's sake, you can buy a heart or a monitoring system that will, if somebody in your family has a heart attack, you stick on a couple of diodes. It does all the stuff to work for you, including shocking them back to life. I mean, the technology available now is leaps and bounds. So as you are all watching me on different phones, Some of you are watching me on tablets. Some of you are watching me on computers, and even some of you are watching me on TVs. Um, the the technology that we have today is going to capture all of these um, UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, and they can't hide it anymore. Okay, the technology's there. Today, there are more people in aviation than ever. So when you're up there in your aeroplane, you're going to see stuff that people don't see from down here. So um, it's all systems go. It's time the government stopped treating us like we're going to lose our minds. One of the biggest issues, guys, that is a problem. Now, this is a big, 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 big problem. Is that when we produce the information that alien beings are not only visiting but here, it's going to knock the churches sideways. Okay, it's going to throw into all kinds of religious concepts, irrespective of the religion. And that's a business that's going to go pop overnight. So there's that to be thought about. Right, so let's start answering some questions. Maria says Amazon is offering $1 million to anyone who watches an alien on their Ring doorbell systems. Well, why not? They're 4K as well. You know, they're 5G and very, very capable. I mean, you can actually have. I mean, most people have on their cell phones, mobile phones, computers, Retina recognition technology that was like so, James Bond only 20 years ago. Um, right. So Lynn has asked me a question. Is the home that you're in now haunted? Okay, let's actually approach the concept of haunted. Okay. Haunted is a term that I think is banded around a little bit too much. Okay. There are spirits. Now you won't see what I just saw. Now it's funny. That's really funny because just as I read that out, is the property you're in haunted? I have what's called IEMs, in-ear monitoring. Okay, and this is the case of the IEM. So the IEMs go up in a circle. They go into this case, and so it's an IEM because it's sitting on the table in front of me here, like that. And it was sitting like that. So if I hold it like that, you can see that it doesn't spring up. Okay, there you go. Look, even if I shake it, it still doesn't spring up. When I said, "Is this place haunted?" it went boom, like that, just as I was. I'm putting it down here now again, and if it springs up again, I'll tell you. But just as I said, is the place haunted? Now let's look at the concept of haunting. A haunting. It's a terminology that's been put together, like, for an example, cuisine. The word cuisine means what? It means different types of groups of food. So it's the sort of the heading for food. So haunting, I believe, would be the heading for visible spirit entities, energies, all being active in a property. Now, what is a haunting? Most people think a haunting is a spirit that's not very happy, that's really doesn't want people in the property. Um, no, not really. Okay, but there are energies. If this property was built in the 1800s, like it's claiming that it is, I don't really see any reason why it wouldn't be. Then there are hundreds of people who have lived here, not one or two, hundreds. So energies of spirits who lived here, energies of people who lived here would be coming back and forth on a regular basis because the property feels happy. It doesn't feel negative, it doesn't feel subdued or sad. It feels actually happy. I feel quite relaxed here. Are there spirits active in this property? Absolutely. Are there ever? I keep getting flashes of stuff that's happening, and I keep getting flashes of horses and people working with horses and things of that nature. Um, so yes, I would say most definitely. Also, something very significant historically about this area. And over the next sort of week or so, I'm going to do some research. Now, I'm going to say to you guys now, I've not done any research, and you guys know I don't tell any porkies. So um, I got a significant feeling about this area that it had something to do with like Oliver Cromwell and the king of that time, King Charles, I think it was, and the clash of the civilians fighting the royals at that time. But there's something about a war, the War of the Roundheads, something about that in this area that I'm picking up because I keep seeing a big white charger in my spiritual mind eye, and I'm picking up like a clash, a like a boom, like a group of guys fighting and stuff of that nature. So there's something about that here. I'm going to do some research over the next sort of week or so, and then hopefully I'll be able to share with you guys what it is that I've picked up. But is this property active with spirits? Most definitely. And if you see anything behind me, let me know. Herbert Lopez says that's what it says in our constitution here in the U.S. government: the people of the people, for the people, by the people. Absolutely, absolutely, Herbert. Yet they won't stick to it in your in the amazing United States. They won't. You know, they think the government are better and stronger and can make decisions over everybody else, and that's not how it should be. Jose says, "Hey Paul, thank you for the invite. It was exciting to hear from you yesterday. Yesterday you said something about take care of my heart and watch what I eat, health and diet wise. Yes, I remember picking that up last night. While I had this wonderful energy. I had two, maybe possibly three energies with me last night, Jose, that were connecting in to you. One was a lovely elderly lady who was giving me the impression of a grandmother, a grandmother, an older female, not very tall, by the way. She wasn't very tall, and she gave me the impression that she was watching over her children. Already, then there was another gentleman there who was giving me a real shooting pains across my chest, and he said, "Tell him this runs in the family." So I said, so if I remember correct, I can't remember the wording last night, was I said, you need to watch out for your diet and you need to watch out for your heart because heart related issues run in your family. Okay, so I don't know if you did any research to find that out, but there was a gentleman and there was like a J like yours, a J or G name like yours last night because the energies are. I'm getting a familiar feel with this energy again. um, Although I don't do reads on a Thursday night, I always say that if an energy comes through and one needs to impart information, I'll always do it. But there's another. You're not the only J or G in your family, and there's a J or G name who's in spirit, who's giving me impressions of pains going across the center of my chest, and made it really difficult to breathe. So there's somebody in spirit who either passes with angina or heart related issues who's saying it runs in your family. So do me a favor, my dear friend, and please be on top of your diet. Now, I'm not one of these guys who's like I, I'm 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 a massive believer that a medium and a psychic should never ever get involved with diagnosis. That is not our jobs. We are not trained doctors. Okay, a psychic and a medium should never get involved with diagnosis. That and definitely don't get involved um, with things like, oh, take this for that, take this for that. No, 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 no. Unless you're a trained pharmacist, don't do it. Unless you're a trained doctor, don't diagnose. So, but what I'll say is they're giving me the impression of this to say that this is something that would have been causing or a part of the cause of how they got to the other side of life. It runs in your family. I would suggest that you go and make sure that your health is good. And there's only one place you should do that. It's in front of a doctor. So do me a favor, just check your diet out because they kept showing me fruit and vegetables, and which means you need to maybe change some of your diet. And and at the end of the day, all spirit energy messages are, hey guys, here's what it is. Now, whether or not you decide to take up that advice, that's completely down to you, you know. So, but I will tell you this, Jose, that your daughter, I think it was your little daughter, is being watched over. So don't worry about that. Oh, one other thing that I meant to say last night that I've just remembered, or it's just been reminded to me, is somebody in spirit is saying that there are two names. They're giving me parallel, which means two of. So either somebody in spirit, and you've named your daughter or son or your child after somebody in spirit because they're saying same as, okay? Or maybe yourself, your children have the same birthdays or anniversary dates, two dates the same, or two names are the same, and that's why I'll get parallels two of. Alrighty. Sue says, was it the Illuminati that believed in both the science and the religion? Mm, what, they were very scientifically driven, yes, but they were at odds with religion. So, but yeah, it's the Illuminati. Yeah. Um, oh, Lynn's just saying about spirits. Okay, Paul, your video from last night, I seen it raining out there and the orbs and the insects. No, there's no there was a few little insects. Yes, yes, there were a few little insects, and yes, there was rain, but rain doesn't go down and then come back up and get straight at the camera. Um, so it was a combination of all. But when you think about it, Lisa, the when rain falls, okay, it creates an energy. And when that energy is available for spirits in the area, they can use that energy to let you know they're around. So they will do that. But I'm a big believer. Don't worry about it. I'm a big believer that and my feet are on the ground, so I will eliminate what it might be. Then you're left with what it is. But there was rain last night, but there was also a very strong, active presence of energies there as well. But totally get what you're saying. Um, Vivian Walker, welcome to the show. Hey, hope you're well. I wonder where Roger. I don't know. I thought Roger and Faye were going to be on tonight. To be absolutely honest with you, if I hope they're well, hope they're good, and I'm sending my love to them as always. Amazing people, love them to bits. My my mom's dad and two brothers passed. My grandfather died of a heart attack, and I was living. I have a living brother with the first name. Ah, got you. There you go. So obviously, your grandfather, who was the older gentleman, who's saying the heart-related issues. Please, Jose, just be on top of your. Once again, just be on top of your diet, bit of exercise. I mean, I did. I trained 7 days a week when I was younger. When I was 19, right up to 20, 27, even 30, I trained a lot. I trained, around 19, 7 days a week. You can eat whatever you want. You just as long as you put in the exercise to kind of move everything through. Okay, if you're going to eat cakes and candy, it's all right, but just put the same amount of exercise to make it work. But your body, think of your body as like your car. Already, if you have a gas car, if you have I'm saying gas for Americans, petrol-driven car for us here in the UK, then what's going to happen if you put in a different kind of fuel, i.e., diesel? Then your petrol car is going to go, I can't do that. It's going to choke up. Alrighty, even though it's fuel and it's combustible like petrol, it just can't be done through the petrol system. So, in order for your car to work to its optimum, you put the right kind of fuel in and you look after it. This is no different. Put the right kind of fuel in and look after it, and it'll run forever. Well, not forever, but it'll run a lot longer than you want. So hopefully that helps you out. Alrighty. Um, Sharon Watt says, "What are your thoughts about past lives and recalling partial events?" Sharon, I am 100% convinced of past lives. So much to the point where um, I was actually brought to past lives my through my guides on at least two occasions. Okay, I know that I was a pilot in World War Two, and I know I died in action in the air. Okay, I even was allowed to remember the final moments before the aircraft I was flying blew up. I don't know whether it was a Spitfire. I don't know whether it was a Hurricane. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, the very last seconds of what I can remember is I gripped the stick and I pushed forward, and as I pushed forward, it goes bang, and that's it. I'm gone. Now, one of the things that happened, one of the things that happened that sort of backed that up was from the age of really early age, 2, 3 years old. I was interested in airplanes. I just wanted to be in the air, and right up until my oh crikey, I think it was 18, 19. No, it was later than that. It's going to be 2021st, something in around there. I got to the point where I could afford to go and do flying lessons. So I went down to Belfast Airport, Belfast Aldergrove International Airport, and I went to a flying school. And I said, I want to fly, go up on a trial flying lesson. And they went, right, okay. So off we went down the runway, took off. Now, I didn't tell the guy that was the very first time I was ever in an airplane. I hadn't been in a jetliner. I hadn't been off the ground. Literally, that was my first time in an airplane. So he said, right, what I'm going to do now is he said, I'll show you how the airplane works. And he moved it around and blah, 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 blah. He said, right, you now have control. So I took control of the airplane and he said, right, do this, do that. So I flew the airplane around and he was just getting less and less talkative. And he was just sitting back more like that. And he was just like watching me. Anyway, so we flew, and his words were verbatim. He said, so are you coming back to flying? Are you going to finish your license? And I went, right, this is my first time in an airplane. And he said, no. And I said, no, it is. He said, no, 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 it's not. He said, it's not humanly possible for you to do what you're doing without have been trained. I said, I promise you, with my hand over my heart, this is the first time I've ever been off the ground. He said, Paul, you're flying this airplane like somebody who's been flying for 10 years. And that was my first time. But everything was almost I just remembered how to do it. And I don't know where I remembered how to do it from, but I was just instinctive. I flew, I knew how to climb, I knew how to descend. In fact, I could have almost brought the airplane into land, but I went, I know where to stop. But he told me, he said, no, he said, you're flying this airplane like somebody who's been flying for 10 years. So, so I do believe that in a previous life, the abilities can come back through as well. So hopefully that helps you out. I'm 100% convinced about them, Sharon. So most clear orbs, amazing, says Jules. Yeah, they were. Some of them are so intense. They were coming right up to the camera, like, and you could tell they weren't insects and they weren't rain because they were colorful, and the rain was obviously going because I was inside looking out. So it wasn't as if I was in the rain and the rain was trying to pass around me. I was inside the house looking through a what's called a stable door. So the rain was coming down, and then the other orbs were coming up and towards me. So amazing. Lorraine, I'm not doing cards. I'm just doing verbal chats and answering questions. Jose says, "Thank you. Are you welcome? You're welcome." I am feeling Quakers were something to do with your home. I work. I didn't know Quakers. I don't think Quakers were in the UK, Lynn. I don't think Quakers were in the UK. I think Quakers are American. Quakers were Dutch or American. Okay, so I don't think they were any UK based. Lorraine Short is asking me, Angel. I'm not doing cards. This is Spirit Quest. The show that when I'm doing reads, practical reading. That's on Monday nights with Reach Across. Tonight's all about learning. Lorraine, if I can answer questions for you in relation to, do you want to know about whatever it is you want to know? Do you want to know about what happens when we pass over, whatever? And you want to know about how to learn how to detect energies in your home, whatever. The Spirit Quest, the Journey of Life, is all about that. Um, the only reason I was doing what I was doing for Jose was I was actually did a read for him last night. Sue says I have recurrent dreams about past lives. Um, well, I think it's past life. Yeah, no reason why not. Then I remember the thing about it. A dream is, a dream is made up of your conscious and subconscious and memory. Okay, and they put it all together and they create a scenario that can be motivated by what you dealt with that day, the day before, communication, conversation, all of that information creates a little movie. Dreams. Now, the difference between a dream and a visitation is you'll forget the dream. A visitation or an interaction with your spirit guides, your spirit family and friends, they can actually reconnect you with past life energies. Now, I remember having one such visitation where I was in the dream, or I was in this like hut, and the a bell went, and just as through a crack in the door, I could see propellers turning outside the door, like of Spitfires or Hurricanes. And I got up to go towards the door, and there was a cabinet to my right, and the cabinet had glass on it. And I looked over, and I could see my reflection. And I walked over to the reflection, and I went, "Oh, that's what I looked like." And I was around about, I don't know, 6'1" tall. I had a moustache that was quite thin, a sort of a gaunt, drawn face like that. And I didn't look like what I look like now, but I saw what I looked like in that. Then I ran out the door towards the aircraft. But yeah, I managed to get a glimpse of what I looked like. When we were on holiday in the Cotswolds, we were in a pub having a meal, and they saw the same thing there. There's a man and a woman in Quaker clothing, and I was given two names. Um, I think you're probably talking about a certain style of clothing, but Quakers come from Holland and Dutch. They're Dutch, and the Quakers were big in the United States, but they're not here in the UK. But you know, would you call that soul memory? Well, there's multiples of ways of why you might want to refer to that. So let's get the Quaker thing out of the way. I don't. I think people um, misinterpret costume. Okay. So, for an example, if I said to you, I'm seeing a lady with a black top with a kind of a white aprony kind of thing and a white frilly hat, and she's got a thing on her shoulders, what would your response be? Okay, would your response go to straight to, oh, that's a Quaker, really? Okay, because in Ireland, I've just described a milkmaid. Okay, or down here, well, anywhere in the UK, I could have described just described a scullery maid. I could have described a worker in a very big posh house. So you have to understand, a Quaker is not what somebody looks like; it's a way of life. Already. Then you got to take into account what a Quaker's way of life is. Okay, and it's very very simple way of life. Okay, but it's Dutch based, it's not UK. So, would you call that soul memory? Right, soul memory is, so you could call it that. There's no reason why you couldn't. I'd be like splitting hairs if I tried to do something different. So when we come into this world and we grow and we learn and we discover and we advance, Are we advancing ourselves? This? Are we advancing this? Or are we advancing our spirit, our spiritual growth? You've heard me talk about spiritual growth. And when this machine stops or it's no longer viable, the soul or the spirit steps out. So, what I call it spiritual memory or what I call it soul memory, why not? Six of one, half a dozen of the other. Sharon says, thank you. You're very welcome. Always welcome. Lorraine, you're welcome also. Oh, we got an asshole. Or sorry, ancestors love. So we want to really, if you all look towards the bottom there, there's somebody called them ancestors love. That's a thief. That's somebody who's going to try and actually access your accounts through your computer system. So that's actually a thief and a liar. And what you want to do is make sure you block that thief and liar and report them to Facebook. Facebook won't do diddly squat about it because Facebook don't give a monkeys anymore. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block the user. Ancestors love my arse, and I'm going to delete the comment. So there we go. So Julie Sharp say I would say a maid, yeah. So, but what you say a maid, I would say it's it you know Quaker is a way of life. It's not a set of clothing. So, but but then on the other side of the coin, I'm forever telling my students and I'm forever telling people that psychics and mediums need to take they need to be responsible for the information they give. So if you're going to give information, try and make it accurate. Have you got a clock near you? No, what you're hearing, Lynn, is the rain on the roof. That's what you're hearing. Question. My baby girl sees spirits. I asked her if she's ever liked, or sorry, ever lived somewhere else before, and she said she was grown up and she died in a boat accident. And she said my stepdaughter was her mother. Oh wow, interesting. Is that your baby girl who's 3 years old, Jose? Is that the one we were talking about last night, or is that another one? Be interesting. I love stuff like that. I totally. There's a great TV show, Jose, that you might want to look for, which will back up a lot of what you're saying. By the way, there's a great TV show called "The Ghost in My Child." Alrighty, a lot of it was shot in the United States and at different parts of the world, but I think you might be able to get it on YouTube. I don't know, but there's a TV show called "The Ghost in My Child." That will make the hairs in the back of your neck stand up. It's really be good, guys. It's already 20 to 9. I'm already an hour and 40 minutes into the show. So let's see if we can get some more questions going quickly. Let's get them going because I've only got about 15 minutes left. So Roger, or sorry, Jose, I would say that your baby girl could. It's very feasible that that would happen and could happen. So I wouldn't say no to that. But it'd be really, really interesting. One of the things that I actually been a party to was I had a manager, crikey, 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, and her son walked up to her in her kitchen here in the UK, by the way, and started speaking fluent Mandarin to her, fluent Mandarin, and said to her, "You're only my mom. You're not my mom. You're just looking after me now." And then pointed out where in China he came from. So, and his young lad here from the UK, born of his mother was my manager, and he spoke fluent Chinese, fluent Mandarin to her. So why not? Lisa says, I watched a few episodes on the LMN channel. All right, I'm not too sure what that channel is, but it's amazing. Yes, what is the meaning and can it be true? Yes, Jose, absolutely. No reason why I can't. In fact, there's a documented case of a girl who was born to an Irish family, okay, She died very, very young. I think something in the region of between 4 and 7 years old. She then was born into the family again, but here in the UK, and kept saying, "No, no, 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 I'm supposed to be somewhere in Ireland." And she went back, and here's the big thing about it was she went back over to the family in Ireland, and she said, "You're my mom and dad. Here's what we used to do," and they were dumbfounded, and they were going, "Everything she's saying is right." But she hadn't left the UK in this time around, but she was able to describe everything in absolute clarity from before, and that is on The Ghost in My Child. I think there's about 3 or 4 seasons of it. It's a really interesting TV show. Really interesting TV show. So, any more questions from me? I'm really enjoying tonight's show, by the way. And they all say and goes, time flies when you're having fun. So, I've got 15 minutes left. If you've got any more questions, please put them to me. Jose, what I would do is, I would make sure that you support your daughter and saying that everything's fine, everything's great, and I clearly don't have to tell you to tell her that you love her. That's clearly easily you do that, but it's important that you support her in the fact that she doesn't start to think she's out of her mind. Is this I'm starting to? Is this real? If you know you don't have to go over the top of it, but just say, listen, whatever you say, darling, and I believe you. You know, that's all you got to say. To the point where she may want to explore her own sort of mortality, her own what happened before, where's she going again, that kind of thing. Now, I'm a big believer. I said on Roger and Faye's show last night, I said that children are the best. They are the best psychics on the planet because they don't have a judgmental or a concept to be able to judge what they're seeing. So I remember I've shared this case many times. When I was 5 years old, I went into a room and there was a man sitting in a chair, and I was chatting with him, and he was smiling at me, and he was very, very gentle with me, and he's very gentle in the way he spoke to me. And you know, people were saying, "Now, who are you talking to, son?" And I said, "That man there." And they were like, "There's nobody there." And I'm going, "Who are you talking about? He's right there." So anyway, and a couple of weeks later, my grandmother was going through some photographs, and I said, "That's him. That's the man I was talking to the other night." She goes, "No, no, you weren't." I said, "I'm telling you, that's him. That's the guy, the man who was talking to me." And his name was what was his name? Um, what was his name now? It'll come to me in a moment. Anyway, I said that's the man. He said, "No, no, no." He said, "That's not that man died 20 years before you were born." And I said, "That is the man I was talking to the other night." And so he was talking to me, and I was only 5 years old. So I had nothing to say. I didn't know what a dead man, where a dead man shouldn't be. As far as I was concerned, he was there. So children will not evaluate the situation; they'll just deal with the situation. Um, so Sue says, "Has anyone else had regression?" I did it, and I did, and it fitted with my reoccurring dream. Um, it was quite mind blowing. Yes, in fact, and when I have the new show, I actually hope to do a regression live. I hope to do either. I'm going to have somebody. I'm going to have a professional hypnotist, a professional trained regression specialist come in, and we'll do it live. You won't. She won't do the actual hypnosis because it could affect more people, but the camera will come into play once the hypnosis and the regression is underway. That's the plan. Some of the paranormal and ghost hunters programs, I think, they're often disrespectful to the spirits, and when they scream and run when they get a reaction. Sharon, I could not agree with you more. 99% of these paranormal inverted commas, paranormal shows are total and utter crap. And there's one guy over here who it really, really gets in my craw. He calls himself an ordained exorcist. Bullshit. You first of all, you have to be an ordained priest, and a specific priest, not just any priest, and then you have to be invited by the Holy Roman Catholic Church to become a an ordained exorcist. So I know he's lying, yet these TV shows spew this crap out, and they believe him, and these crap. So so when they come on the TV, I just go nope, next. You know, I love watching some shows. For an example, Ghost Brothers. That's a brilliant show. I love watching it because they keep it real. You can tell that these guys are um, they're amateurs, and they're getting to do it, and they bring a lot of comedy to it, a lot of realism, and that has me more focused on them than. And I love watching Jack Osborne. Jack doesn't BS, and he does it all real. But these idiots here in the UK, nah, total crap. Ordained exorcist, my horse. Um, yes, I agree. Everybody's agreeing. Sharon's good to hear. Oh, another idiot, Amanda Stacy Danville. That just tells you everything you really need to know. Has to come on to somebody else's show and try and steal. These are the kind of people you don't want to go to, right? These are the kind of people who are liars and thieves, right? So if they do contact you, report them to Facebook immediately, okay? Because they're trying to get into your accounts, and they're trying to relieve your entire system of funds. All right, do not trust that person. Liars, cheats, and thieves. Exactly that. Right. So Herbert says, I believe most children are born psychic. Everybody, Herbert, every human being on this planet is psychic, bar none. All right. Even the ones who are anti what we do. Oh, it's all rubbish. Oh, what you do is all total crap. It's all made up. Blah, 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 blah. And then you hear them say, "Oh, I've got a feeling about this." Yeah, all right. How many people have you ever heard say, my gut's telling me this. I got a gut instinct about that. I have a feeling about this. That's called psychic ability. Alrighty. Some people just don't like to use the word psychic. So every human being on this planet is psychic, bar none. Moms tend to be a little bit more than males, and especially moms can read more in relation to connections with their children because moms carried the children for 9 months, so the connection is that much stronger. So moms will be able to tell if their children are okay just by thinking, and they'll go, everything's all right. Um, but I always say if you can start trusting your gut instinct, trusting that ability, it'll get stronger and stronger. The psychic part of your life is like a workout. The more you do, the stronger it gets. Here's how it works. All mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. Okay, that's the difference. They need to remember that they were alive and living once. That's right, Sharon. Most of them do. There's only a few that don't really. Jackson has been doing that a lot since he was here last week, says Maria. Ah, well, there you go. Jenny told me, said he was laughing at in the back seat on their drive back to Vegas. Huh? Somebody's coming along for a ride. There you go. Guys, I've got about 7 minutes left. So please, 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 if you've got any more questions, do it to me now. She also said she blew the person. I guess I love watching children And the other thing, the other real is animals. Okay, they once again they just deal with what's there. They don't evaluate. Okay, they just like, and I will watch my boys and Holly, and they will like watch a corner like that, and sometimes they're looking in a corner, and there's nothing in the corner. Well, we can see, and they'll go like that, and they're just looking into a corner. So as soon as I see that happening, I will often say, "Hey guys, what do you know?" Or is any if there's anybody here, you're welcome. Just try and say hello. So it's cool. So here we go on. It's Thursday night, which means the weekend starts tomorrow. Make sure you guys are going to have a fantastic weekend. Make sure you go out there and enjoy yourselves to the max. I will be back on Monday with Reach Across Live, which will be doing reads directly for you guys. But listen, I was started off at the show by saying I'm very up for doing shows. I'm very up for doing work, but it has to be symbiotic. It has to be a two-way. It has to be balanced. So where I and Roger will give to you, you guys need to give back. Okay, and how you become an interactive part of the show is by sharing. They're getting your friends and getting your family to become part of the show, and let's grow the numbers. So, all of y'all who are watching on YouTube tonight, make sure you've liked the show because it's telling me on my system here only 4 people have liked the show. So, if you haven't already liked it, please make sure you like the show and then share the show. But make sure, above all, you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out any future shows. So everybody who's new here, get in there and make sure that you have invited your friends and family on Facebook and make sure your groups you invite them to. Is there any progress on the Golden Circle? I think I've got about 7 people, Sue, my darling. So I'm not going to start the Golden Circle until I have 10. Okay. And to be honest with you, it would make sense. I mean, if the 10 people jump in now, I'll do it. I'll do it straight away. Um, I'm just thinking that whether or not, because at the end of the month I'm moving again, so whether or not it makes sense to build up the Golden Circle now and then get it underway properly when I move into the new studios. So that would kind of make sense because everything's in place then. But anyway, we'll see how it all works out. Lynn says I've got 13 likes. It's just showing 4 on mine. It's showing 13 people currently. Is there an I, like an I, and then the number 13 beside it? Because what that means is there are 13 people on the channel at this moment in time. Then there's a heart, and then the number 4, and the 4 are the likes. Okay, so I need all y'all to be hitting that like button and sharing the show. Don't forget, Roger and Faye's show is on Saturday. This Mug's View, 10:30 Central Time, followed by 4:30 in the afternoon for us here in the UK. If I'm here and we are here, I'm jump on. If not, I'll or if I'm available, I'll jump on. If not, I can't. It's that simple. Thank you for your time. So Sharon, you're very, very welcome, my darling. Very, very welcome. Herbert says, twice in my life I awoke from a deep sleep and told my mother that someone just died and told them the name, and then the phone rang to tell her, wow, wow. Okay, so you became the messenger, Herbert. Wow, that's cool. That means that spirit is reactive with you and you're reactive to spirit. It's a really good thing. If you can start working on that, the other thing to do is, and this is vital. If you haven't got my book, by the way, Herbert, and anybody, if you go on to Amazon, if you're in the United States, the best place I think is Amazon, and order my book called The Safe Way. So Paul Francis, then The Safe Way. And make sure you see my face on it, because there's another guy called Paul Francis out there, and he's making a lot of sales off of me. But my face will always be on my books. So if you get a copy of The Safeway, Herbert, it will teach you how to protect yourself. Okay? Same with Jose as well. Get a copy of my book, The Safeway. It'll teach you how to protect yourself, and it'll teach you how to clear your energies in your house and so on. There's lots of good stuff in there. Make sure you get the deluxe version, which is the latest version. Okay, it's black and white. My face is on the front. That's the final sort of version of it. It's also available on digital download. So, so looking forward to the seminars and the Golden Circle, but I completely understand that it's better once you have moved and settled. Yes, I think it's going to be much more, shall we say, complete. We'll be able to move more sort of as one entity rather than bits in, start, stop, stop, you know. And that's what's holding me back on quite a few of the projects that I'm waiting to move on, is I know I'm going to have to stop them again. So there's no point in starting them, really. It's better just to keep going with what we've got here until we got the studio. Then it's full pedal to the metal. Sharon says, I've got your book Safeway. Thank you, Sharon. If I'm ever on tour and you guys have my books and you want them signed, I will I will absolutely genuinely be ecstatic to sign them for you. So there we go, 9 p.m., an hour and a half, boom, straight through, just like that. In time flying. So with that concept in mind, time flying, make sure you communicate, appreciate, and validate all the people in your life every opportunity you get. Okay, just tell them how much they mean to you and how much you love them. And make sure you take time out every single day just for you. Just take time out, a very minimum of 15 minutes, and just watch some of the world. Just slow down, breathe, and enjoy. So I will be back definitely on Monday. I hope to be jumping in on Roger and Faye show on Saturday. If I do, great. I'll see you guys there. If I don't, then I'll see you on Monday. Sue says, thank you so much, Paul, and thank you for everyone. Sue, you're an absolute sweetheart. Appreciate it so much. Thanks so very, very much. Appreciate it. Marie says, oh no, my most dreaded part of the show. Bless your heart. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your evening. Take time out, Carol. And, you know, just enjoy life. Please take the time out to enjoy life, okay? Because it goes past so, so quickly. Jose says, awesome, Paul, this was great. Much blessings to you all, and to you, Jose, and to your wonderful family. See you all Monday for definite. Might see you on Roger's show on Saturday. But until then, take care. Communicate, appreciate, and validate everybody in your life. So a medium number has to do it for you. And I'll see you all on Monday. I know your face very well. You look a lot like my brother. Oh, he's a handsome guy. Good night, God bless. See you all Monday.